that. Hey, I'm sick and tired of the loose rap. You can keep that. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Junior's World of Soul. I am back with a new video, blessing y'all with R&B the right way, the authentic way. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all be getting on me talking about, yo, where's the videos, what you been doing? But y'all know what's up. Y'all know I've been representing the R&B representers, as y'all can see. You know what I'm saying? Go to our website, thernbrepresenters.com, so y'all get y'all some shirts, some buttons, all that good stuff. But you know what I'm saying? I've been putting my time into that, but Junior's World of Soul ain't going nowhere, people. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all was thinking about getting the videos consistently every week. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? R&B reps. Even though Junior's World of Soul is my baby and it will always be my baby, but the R&B reps right now, we focus. We on a little incline, you know what I'm saying? So follow the page too on R&B reps, all that good stuff. I'll put that stuff in the more info box, you know what I'm saying? But yo, I'm so happy to be back with the new video, y'all. You know what I'm saying? As y'all can hear, I came in with Aaliyah's Loose Rap, which finally all of Aaliyah's bodies of work is on streaming platforms. We got Agent Number the Number, 1 in a Million, and we got the Red album. You know, I was getting a little tired of when I wanted to listen to the Red album, I had to go on YouTube. Now, even though I have it on my iTunes, I got an iPhone, but I still use Spotify, just saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's like every time I gotta go on there to, I'm like, but even though I have it, I have the CD, it's over there somewhere. I do have the CD and it's on my other computer. You know what I mean? Because I did buy it. And people, please, go buy CDs. Vinyls is making its way back too, all that good stuff. But I'm ranting on and on. But yo, I'm so glad that Aaliyah's this Red album is out, because a lot of people was talking about it, man. A lot of people love this Red album. I know I do too. I feel like 1 in a Million is my favorite, but the Aaliyah album is the best. You know what I'm saying? Musically, sonically, like everything about that album is dope. And I definitely want to give props, for real. I want to give props to Eric Seats. I want to give props to Rapture Stewart. I want to give props to J-Dub, Buddha, Tank. And last but not least, I want to give respect and RIP to Static. That man wrote the hell out of these songs. And like that whole crew, they blessed Aaliyah, you know what I'm saying? And I want them to get their stripes, you know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, when you think of Aaliyah, everybody goes to Missy and Timberland, which they did do 3 songs on the album. But this album was all about Eric Seats, all about Rapture Stewart, and it was about Static. And these guys got together and they got with J-Dub and they got with Buddha and they got with Tank and all these other producers and all that, and they made a great album. And I want them to get respect for it. But I'm so happy now that this album is on streaming. So y'all go stream this album. This is really, really a good album. And I'm just glad that I finally get to listen to songs like Loose Rap on the streaming. It's Whatever, Those Were the Days, I Refuse, Never No More, what else? Read Between the Lines, Extra Smooth, You Got the Nerve, like all these amazing songs. And I'm finally, this generation can understand why, you know, a lot of people go so hard for this album, and now they can listen to it and really realize that this was an album that was taking R&B somewhere, and it was to a good place musically, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of what we have now is really because of kind of the sonicness of this album. So y'all, please go check out this Aaliyah album. And I know the Aaliyah fans are happy, so shout out to y'all. But RIP to Baby Girl. But I love Loose Rap, because Loose Rap is one of Aaliyah's best songs. Just saying. Well, all right. Well, I done talked y'all about 4 minutes already. But y'all know what this video is about. As you can see from the title, it is Current R&B Bangers. Now, if you're new to Junior's World of Soul, Current R&B Bangers is all about showing mainstream America that R&B is alive and well, and it's not going anywhere. You know, R&B really doesn't get the respect that it really deserves, and I felt like since like 2015, I was just talking about it on social media, and I said, you know what, I want to do something about it. So what I did was I created a show where I talk about bangers from artists that don't get the respect, our legacy artists, new artists that nobody knows, and I just talk about them so people can know that, the music is out here. And, I'm sick of saying R&B is not dead. It's getting tired and it's getting old. We know R&B is here. It ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in the DNA of all music. Just saying. But, yo, I got 4 joints for y'all today. So we can talk about, clearly Loose Rap was one of them. But I got 3 other joints for y'all today to talk about. So let's get this all started. I am so excited for this one. I am so excited. So we going to start it off like this. I'll reconsider, yeah. Talking to you. I'll reconsider, yeah. Stop thinking it through. I'll respect. Got it one that's just as bad as you want sex. You better believe. Yes, they do. Yes, my girls, Stacy, Tam, and Casey. I am talking about the Shindellas. Listen, I remember when I first heard this record, I was like, wait a minute. Like, because I feel like there's groups, and we need groups because I always felt like groups are the backbone of what R&B and how we stood so strong in the mainstream world, because we had our, R&B solo artists doing it, but the male and female groups was there, and I feel like we were missing that. We were missing groups like the En Vogues and the SWVs and the TLCs and the Escapes and all these. You know what I'm saying? We were missing groups. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard this, I was like, whoa. I was hearing these harmonies. I was like, wait, who is this? And I saw it was the Shindellas, and it was Louis York, with shouts out to Chloe Kelly and Chuck Harmony, who found these girls in 2017. And when I heard this song, I said, whoa, I love them already. I don't know these girls like that, but I love them already. You know what I mean? And then after that, I started talking about every song they have came out with on this show. I talked about Reconsider, Ain't It the Truth. I talked about Happy to See You. I even did my little woo-woo-woos with them. If It Wasn't Love, which is really one of my favorite songs from them. Chill, Costume, Fear Has No Place, Money, Volcano Love, and When You're Lonely, and Feel the Pain. And I talked Feeling the Pain. Let me get it right. You know what I'm saying? So I was so excited when it was time for them to come out with a new album. And they did, y'all. And it has been released. The album is called Hits That Stick Like Grits. And I am in paradise over this album. Catch that, because one of the songs is called Paradise. Let me tell you something. I know a lot of these songs is songs that I kind of know already, but it still sounds so fresh. Happy to See You, which they end the album with, sounds fresh. You know what I'm saying? When You're Lonely sounds so good. Volcano Love sounds so good. You know what I mean? Like, Money sounds so good. Like, it just fits the sequences, everything. You know what I mean? Maybe 4 songs on the album that, some new songs on there that if you didn't have the singles, you know what I'm saying? But this album is just great. I'm just lost for words. And like Claude said, he said, listen, there's no excuse. People saying we're missing harmonies, we're missing melodies, we're missing all this kind of stuff. You got it. So I would recommend you guys, please go listen to Hits That Stick Like Grits from my girls, the Shindellas, because they did that. I am so proud of them, being fans of them since 2018, and to see where they at right now, and they getting so much love. People are retweeting like, yo, this thing is amazing. So I was like, I didn't know what song I wanted to talk about. I really didn't. Like, I wanted to talk about Paradise, but I was like, no. But then I was like, yeah. Then I was like, no. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about Win My Heart, because let me tell you something. Stacy, Tam, and Casey, like, really stole my heart. They won my heart. Like, they won my heart since 2018, since I heard Reconsider. And it's the same now. So I felt like, let me talk about this record. This record is a beautiful record. The harmonies, everything about this record is perfect. And I said, why not talk about it? So here, the first joint of current R&B bangers is coming from my girls, the Shindellas. And here is Win My Heart. So here we go.
But you still don't. Something's telling me, let it go.
you something? That song is everything. You know what I'm saying? Like let me tell you something. I know when Chuck and Claude was making these records and they listening to it and how the songs is coming together. I know it was one time, I know they had to do what I did. They had to spin like this. They had to do that because they probably look like these girls is bad. You know what I'm saying? Listening to a song from the beginning to the end, I know for me, if I was in that studio, I'd have threw my shoe, I'd have threw my wallet, I'd have threw all that stuff. Because this song, the harmonies, these girls, is what we're missing. We're missing these great harmonies, and these great voices, and these blends is what we're really missing from music right now. And these girls can really do that. You know what I'm saying? But the parts that I must play is, Tam, why you had to go off like this at the end? You really had to do this? You had to go off like this at the end? And I said, this girl, and the girls behind her with the great old harmony. I said, look, I got to play two parts in this. So here's the part where she just goes off and it's completely unfair, but it's beautiful. And I was like, nope, I'm going to play this part. So here we go. Just listen to Tam go off. She goes off, y'all. Why she had to go like that? Tam, you didn't have to go off like that. Because now I'm trying to learn your ad-libs and I can't get it right. But I got a little bit of it right. But girl, whew, I got to do one of these again. Jesus God, them girls is bad. All I got to say, listen, Tam, Stacy, and Casey, y'all won my heart since 2018. Y'all will continue to keep. I want big success for y'all. Y'all girls are freaking amazing. Shout out to Louis York. Y'all knew what y'all were doing in 2017 when y'all got these three together. Greatness, y'all. Please, Hits That Stick Like Grits is out right now. I recommend it. Look, if you're going to be cool with me, you got to get this album. So, yo, I had to talk about the girls, but this is the first joint of current R&B bangers. It's from the Shindellas, and it is You Won't Win My Heart, I think. Look, I only been listening to it for a couple of hours, so I ain't get the melodies just yet. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got Tam doing runs and stuff like that, it's a little hard, you know? But yes, please check out the girls. So that is Win My Heart from the Shindellas, and that's the first joint on current R&B bangers. All right, I had to take a sip after that one. I went in for them girls because I love them girls. But okay, we're going to go here.
Hydrate, bitch. I want to sit on it. But tell me why you deserve it.
Hey. Well, y'all know that's Jazmine Sullivan, but that was Ari Lennox's part. And I've really been a fan of this girl since 2015, since I got into her mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all, just all the lights is in front of me. Yes, I'm yes. But yeah, I've been a fan of her since her mixtapes. The girl can sing. She really, really has talent. So I was so happy when her debut came out in 2019. That was Shea Butter Baby. And now when you talk about R&B, you have to talk about Ari Lennox. Like, you have no, you know what I'm saying? You talk about her and Summer Walker and, you know, kind of the young girls, you know, Ella May and all these girls, you know what I'm saying? But Ari, that girl can sing her face off. And her and Jazmine, when they was on the BET Awards, they really, really, like, that girl sings down. But again, I knew that even before, you know, it seemed like the world got into her. But I'm so happy that she's winning. You know what I mean? And again, when you talk about R&B now, you have to talk about Ari Lennox. I'm kind of glad that the social media stuff kind of slowed down a little bit. Because one thing I say about this generation, they love to take the social media, and sometimes it can help, sometimes it can hurt. You know what I mean? So I'm glad she kind of slowed down with that a little bit, so we can just focus on the music. Because that's me. And that's what the R&B representatives. We just want to focus on the music. Forget the drama. Forget all that mess. Give us good music so we can talk about it. So we can let the whole world know and try to push it. Because now it seems like it's word of mouth. You know what I mean? But, so when I saw that because she brought out a couple of singles in 2020. You know what I'm saying? COVID kind of messed up everybody. But then she brought, then I heard she was working with, Brian Michael Cox and Jonte Austin and Jermaine Dupri. So I was like, ooh, how is that going to go? You know what I'm saying? I hope, they get together and they create greatness. I mean, come on. When you think about Brian Michael Cox and you think about Jonte Austin and Jermaine Dupri, that's like magic. And when you think about the 2000s and songwriting and producing, they were the magic team. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, how they gonna do this? And when I heard it, I was like, wow, she released Pressure, and this joint is a banger. It is a banger, yo. And I'm hyped for it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was co-written by Jalen Josie, who I hope I'm saying her name, Jalen. I said Jalen. Jalen Josie, who I discovered. And I talked about her on Current R&B Bang. I talked about her EP. And to see, because she did Broadway, and then she was coming out with her own music, and then to have a song with one of the most popular girls in R&B right now, and to be working with Jermaine Dupri and Brian Michael Cox, that is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to her, you know what I mean? But this joint is dope. It's a banger. It's a hit. And when I heard it, I said, Ari, you got one, girl. So here is Pressure, and we gonna jam to it like this. Here we go.
Keep your eyes on me, apply. Get it, don't be timid when you in it, fly.
Pressure.
Love a bum, live alone, leave it. Say, I don't wanna give.
Hey. Pressure.
I guess that's why you like it.
Hey.
Pressure.
It's catchy, you know what I'm saying? It still got the little current vibe to it, you know what I'm saying? It's still, she's singing on the record, you know what I'm saying? Listen to them backgrounds and all that, the production, JD and Brian Michael Cox and Jonte Austin, y'all got together and y'all gave this girl a banger, man. So, yo, it's all on streaming platforms. Support this record, you know what I'm saying? The video, she's paying homage to these great, like Diana Ross and Donna Summer and TLC and all that. So I recommend y'all go check that out. But shout out to my girl again, Jalen Josie. Yo, they gonna be coming for you, girl. You're gonna be writing for some more people, man. So beware of that. But that's the second joint of Current R&B Banger that is coming from Ari Lennox, and that is Pressure. All right, keeping this going like this. I'm so excited to be recording again.
I've been down for too long now. I'm moving on like I should. I just wanna feel good.
Hey.
I've been down on getting low.
I gotta move a little bit. I'm moving on like I should.
I just wanna feel good.
My brother Sin's favorite, and I love her too. I am talking about India Shawn. Like, this LA native has been paying her dues, and she deserves to be noticed. People should be loving this girl because she is dope. She has wrote songs for Monica. She has wrote songs for Chris Brown, the DeBarge, Carrie Hilson. Like, she's done, like, this girl paid her dues, and now with her dealing with D-Mile and all that, I want this girl to win so bad. You know what I mean? But I was introduced to her by my brother Sin, who I talk about a lot on here. He introduced me to her in like 2018, if I'm not mistaken. But it was so crazy. I knew her, but didn't know her because she had a record with Alex Isley entitled Water Me. And I knew that record, but I'm a fan of Alex Isley. So I was paying attention to more of her. And it's crazy because bro was like, you never heard Water Me? And I was like, oh, that's the other girl. Ooh, I was like, I'm so sorry. And he was like, yeah, get your mind together. You need to be paying attention to her. My brother loves you, Indy. If you see this video, let me tell you something. Sin loves you. You know what I mean? So I think you know that too because you've talked to him, back and forth. But so he made me go back and listen to her work. And she had albums Origin and Outer Limits, you know what I'm saying? And I was loving her vibe. I was like, yo, she's dope. You know what I'm saying? And then my brother was even sending me stuff that she did before then. And he was like, you see how dope she is? I was like, yeah, she's dope. You know what I mean? Like, she can sing. That's one thing I'm about. As long as you can sing and you get good music, great. And that's what she was giving me. You know what I mean? But in 2020, she released 2 records. One was In Too Deep with 6 Black, and then the other one was Cali Love, which I talked about on here on Current R&B Bangers. And it was just a song where, she's from Cali. So she was just giving us, she was kind of riding us through Cali, you know what I'm saying, through the record, which I thought was a dope record. And definitely y'all check that out. It's on all streaming platforms for real. But then in 2021, she gave us another joint. It was titled Too Sweet. And my brother sent me this. Sin sent me that. He was like, bro, yo, listen to this song. Like, this joint is called Too Sweet. Like, this joint is dope. I was like, oh, okay. And it was with an orchestra. He was like, I know you will love it. He was hyped because, again, he's a big fan of her. You know what I mean? But then after that, I think she came out with Moving On with Anderson .Paak, which I talked about on here as well. As y'all can see, I love this joint. But her new single, Don't Play With My Heart, she actually brought this song out when I went to visit my brother in August. So I was like, good, I'm finally listening to a song she bring out and I'm with him. You know what I mean? And I loved it. I said, yes, when I do Current R&B Bangers again, I'm going to talk about this joint because it's a danceable joint. It's so dope, and I love it so much. And I know it might be a month, you know what I'm saying, that since the single came out, but it don't matter. Good music, when it's good music, it don't matter when you talk about it. You know what I mean? So this joint is entitled Don't Play With My Heart, and it's a banger, and it's going to make you groove. So here we go. Here is Don't Play With My Heart. Here we go.
Baby, just hold on. Don't play with my heart before we let it stop.
Don't play with my heart. Hey, we stop. Hey. It got a nice little groove to it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's dope. It is a dope record to me. You know what I mean? It's groovy. Listen, Indy, I'm waiting for this album, girl. I've been waiting since 2000, since Cali Love. I was like, okay, we getting the album. So hopefully we getting the album from her because she deserves to shine. You know what I'm saying? And this song, Don't Play With My Heart, is a banger. You know what I mean? So y'all support this record. You know what I'm saying? Support everything that this girl do. Follow her on her Instagram, her Twitter, all that good stuff. I'm put that stuff all in the more info box because again, this girl done paid her dues and she's a talent and she deserves to get that shine. You know what I mean? So that is the third joint on Current R&B Bangers that's coming from India Shawn, and that is Don't Play With My Heart. Okay, had to get it right. Well, y'all, that is actually your 3 joints plus Aaliyah's loose rap that I gave y'all this week. So I gave y'all the Shindellas with Win Your Heart, or their newly released hits that stick like grits. You got Ari Lennox with Pressure, and you got India Shawn with Don't Play With My Heart. Listen, we need to support and love our black queens, man. For real, for real. I'm all about supporting our women. You know what I'm saying? Being behind our black women. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for black women, I wouldn't be who I am today. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to show love because it was all about the women this episode. You know what I'm saying? You had Aaliyah, you had the Shindellas, you had Ari Lennox, you had India Shawn. It's all about the women. So y'all respect our women, support them, you know what I mean? And just continue to support black music. period. You know what I'm saying? Just support black music, good artistry, all that good stuff. So I said, hey, since it's all about our women, I was like, why not end with a classic from a women's group? And this one is from Honeycomb, and this song, 40 years ago this week, was #1 on the R&B charts, and I was like, this is a great song to go out. So I will see y'all faster than you think after this video. I ain't gonna leave y'all too long no more, so we're gonna go out with this, and I will see y'all in the next video.
Stick up, highway robbery. It's a felony.
Heartbreak in the first degree. Oh. Hey, I'm out, y'all. Peace.